And we only work exclusively with listings, so we don't really take buyers around. Like our focus, I mean, we have team members in our group that take our buyers. So from 9 to 11:30, like religiously every single day, we're making calls. We're in Vulcan7, we're making expires for sale by owners, circle prospecting, just lead generation. Because if we don't have that lead generation piece of it in our business, then our business is going to suffer in 2 months. Like, so we know like 2 months from now, we're not going to have business. Like everything we have under agreement right now is closing in June. So what is our July and August looking like? So if we're not prospecting every day, then it's not predictable. It's so crazy and so mind-blowing, because before I became a listing agent, I used to be like, let me go to this appraisal, let me go to this, let me go to this closing, like all these non-income producing activities. And when you have them under agreement, then it's, it's done, it's over. Like you're not making more money than you already did. So it's like, how do you get out of those activities and really focus back into creating more leads, filling up your pipeline? So we've been able to have that like consistency that it has led us to just being so predictable in our business. So it's like it's nice to be able to do that and still have a family time, have the perfect work and family balance, because that's ultimately our priority, our kids.
Yeah, of course.
Business is secondary to that.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, it's Aaron Wittenstein, and we're here with Vulcan7 Roadmap. This is where we interview agents across the country. Today, we've got amazing agents that we're going to be two amazing agents. We don't usually get the 2-for-1 price today, and we're going to 2-1. And we're going to teach you how to take an additional, just a lot of listings a month today, okay? So we've got Will and Vero, and I'm going to mispronounce your last name. So could you pronounce your last name for me? I don't want to butcher it.
Vaquerano.
Vaquerano. Okay, got it. I thought I was going to get it. I just wanted to be on the safe side. So you guys are my first husband and wife team here that I've interviewed. So this is a first for everybody here. So all right. So I got to ask first off, okay, how long have you guys been married for?
We've been married for 3 years.
Okay.
But we've been together for 7.
So, and how did you guys meet?
At an open house.
Yeah.
I listed a house, and then the very next day on the same street, another house goes on the market, and I go pop in there and I see her.
So it was real estate
heaven,
matching heaven.
And then I prospected her, and that's how it happened.
You're like, I picked up the phone, I got a number, I cold called, it all worked out pretty well, right?
He literally called me 3 times in a row right after leaving that open house, and then he texts me, and I'm like, who is this person?
Just like a fistball and it expired, right? You got to call them till you get them on the phone.
That's absolutely amazing. That's a really cool story. And because like I said, working with your spouse, like I was telling you guys before, you couldn't. I love my wife to death. I love her to death, but you couldn't pay me to work with her whatsoever. So what I found to be interesting, based on the conversation that we had briefly, is you guys are prospectors, and you guys prospect together. I would assume, is that right?
That's right.
In the same office, just different rooms.
Mm-hmm.
That makes perfect logical sense. So do you guys have like you gotta have some healthy competition between the two of you guys?
It's funny because he might call an expire, and then I might call the expire, and then the conversations could go very different. If it's a Spanish speaker, I handle a lot of the Spanish speaking clients. So if it's somebody who speaks Spanish, I would connect with them much easier. But if it's somebody who, let's say like maybe an elderly person, like he'll connect with them really well. So it's like they might hang up on me, but they might stay on the phone for him. So it's like actually a really good like complement each other when it comes to some of these different.
And we take notes, obviously, right? And then she would say, call this person because this reason. And I would say, here, this is an expired that you need to hit up right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it helps.
So you don't like yell across the room, honey, I got a hot one for you. You don't do that, do you?
Oh yeah, no, he does. Yeah. He does.
Baby.
Yeah, he's like, baby, call this one right now. And
text
then I'm like,
to you.
Yeah.
To be a fly on the
because I go in there in the Vulcan7 the software that we use where we take the
Yeah.
notes, and then I'll read whatever he wrote, so I could start off the conversation with that. And I already have background on that person, so it's almost like I have a little bit of an advantage. So I would say not so much for any competition, more like he helps me and I help him when we're like not able to connect with somebody.
Yeah.
So that was my next question, is that there's got to be a healthy competition between the two of you guys, right? I mean, all the money comes into the same place, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. Yet, I mean, there's got to be like, I got a listing today. You know what I mean? Like, do you guys do that
way? I mean, the reason why we're able to work together is because we complement each other well.
Right.
We're wired kind of the same thing. We love growth, so we're always focused on like growing. It's not like, hey, I got a listing, you didn't get a listing. It's more of like, man, I need to produce to be a part of, one way or the other. Like we help each other, but not so much like, hey, I signed a listing and what's up with you, right?
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
And I know that drives some people, but I think we're just always focused on the growth part of it and helping like pull up or push up.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we work very close with each other. Like obviously we talk about real estate every single day, all the time.
Yeah.
The kids, I think, are sick of this point of hearing us talk about real estate, because up until the time we go to bed, we're talking about stuff. But we run very different businesses. Like we are both working with like completely different prospects. He does a lot of expires for sale by owners. I also make those calls, but I also work a lot with my sphere of influence. So sometimes when I list a property, for example, from a SOI and sphere of influence, I might use, let's say, Vulcan7 to help me prospect and form that certain area to get some leads from that. Like, like some of the leads that I'm able to pull. So that could be my focus on his business, and he might be more focused on for sale by owners and then door knocking them and then expires, right? So it's really cool how we both have our strengths in a certain different parts of our business.
I love that dynamic, you know what I mean? Because when a husband and wife, like at least myself and my wife, we're different, you know what I mean? Like, we're polar opposites, when it comes to this stuff, which would actually work really well with us getting together in the business or working the systematic side. So, I mean, it just seems like for you two, you found the mesh there together, where that's really where the magic happens. Like, you don't have to go look for other people. You have your other person right there.
Yeah.
So what do you say realistically is the secret to being able to work with your spouse?
I think it's, the biggest thing is I'm more of like when it comes to like OCD, like more like controlling, in the sense of like I tend to do more of the back end stuff, like handling, like managing our admin, our marketing, or like back end stuff. He's more of like the sales. Like, let's say he's stronger on the side of like negotiating. Like when we have a tough situation, or like we're working with a client and it's a little bit tough, like he'll be the one who kind of comes forward and has that tough conversation. So we really complement in that sense, and the strengths really come up when it comes to doing that. And we know, like, he knows he's not supposed to step into my world, which is the marketing world. I'm like, I handle that, you handle the other side.
And it's not easy. And we didn't know what we didn't know, but one of our coaches helped us with this, is you have to define what roles that you're going to take on within the business, right? So I do handle the newsletter. That's and I have a passion for it. So if you're trying, even if it doesn't have to be husband and wife team, it's just if you have two people managing the team, let's say, just define it. Like, okay, I'm going to handle this and I'm going to handle this. Great. And then I'll have your input, and that's it. I mean, when it comes to staging and marketing and or design, like you see the behind, if it wasn't for her, this would be all white and it would be completely fine for me. But people love it. They compliment the whole office every time they come in here, right? So we separate that and we respect those boundaries.
Yeah.
And I mean, I assume it wasn't an easy process to get there. You have your bumps and your bruises and all that type of stuff. Yet when you have partners, because I mean, in all intents and purposes, you guys are partners. You know what I mean? Your spouses, but your business partners. And it's knowing, here's where my role is, like you said, and I'm going to stay in my lane and let the other person stay in their lane, and the lanes come together and magic happens, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And we never
fight. Yeah. But we've come to agree to disagree, and sometimes it's like we'll just in the middle of something and we both know we're like hitting, like, we're hitting a wall, and we're like, okay, let's just take a break, think it over, and then come back and unite and decide what's the best outcome for this. So we've come to understand that.
Yeah.
Because I mean that probably comes into place because you guys have, I mean, you guys are in Massachusetts, right? But you also have teams in New Hampshire and Maine and areas like that. So you guys are spread out pretty far. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
So and then I mean, so I mean, having that substantial of a, what's the word I'm looking for here? A spread, if you will. Like, what are you guys most proud of when it comes to, like, the production aspect and the agent aspect? Like, what are you most proud of?
When people can copy and paste what we've been doing, when they follow the recipe, right? I always say it's pretty predictable if you have a set schedule, and you have. Veronica says this all the time. She says consistency will always beat talent every time. So if you're consistent and you see, you copy and paste what other people are doing. So for me, it's satisfying to see like a brand new agent coming here or a seasoned agent that's not doing well in their business, and they see what we're doing and they do it. And then you see the results.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I signed a listing or I sold a property through them.
Yeah.
And I think she agrees with that too, right? So I know she does. But that's for
I'm
me.
gonna say yes. It's nice to see people growing. I think after so many years in the industry, we've been doing this for 10, 11 years. And, we know how to sell homes. We know how to take a listing. We know how to convert the lead. But what he's saying is right. When you have other people like realizing, okay, if all I have to do is follow the steps and actually become a successful agent, and they actually do it and they're successful, that actually brings more.
Right.
Like, it makes us more proud than having $1 million listing, honestly, because that we know how to do now and it's easy. But having the group and we have 85 agents now, and having just actually click on their mind and be like, okay, we get it. Like, this is all we have to do. Just show up and just call it time block and just make the calls and prospect and, and use the softwares and do what you guys do. And that's more rewarding.
It's kind of like you watch your babies grow up in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. It's like
they're walking.
You're like, they're running now. Yes. And then they don't stop.
And will show emotion when you sign a listing. And I'm like, yeah, this is my happy. But when another agent signs a listing, I'll be the loudest one in the room, right? Yeah. It's just a different level, right? Yeah. But yeah,
and it's
cool.
And it's giving that support to people. You know what I mean? Especially, when you have that many, and you're running that big of a business, you're running that big of a show, to have that hands-on approach, where people do it. So, all right, I want to take it back a second, okay? Because, one thing that, that we started with here is you guys are prospectors, you know what I mean? And we're prospectors. How many hours a day right now or a week are you guys currently putting into prospecting, would you say, ballpark?
It's like 4 or 5 hours a day.
Okay.
And we work Monday through Friday. Veronica, the nice thing is that if you marry the process of like controlling your time with time blocking,
yeah,
you could really control your business, right? We always say that this industry will chew you up and throw you out, doesn't even care about your divorce or your problems, nothing, right? But if you control your time, you really start to manage it, and it creates this freedom. So Veronica, she's been, she clocks out at 3:30 and picks up our daughter. And she's been doing that consistently for years, right?
Yeah.
So she does about 3 hours, 4 hours, maybe sometimes. I do it like 3, 4 hours. And that's it. Monday through Friday. We don't work weekends. Very rare that we ever do work weekends. Sometimes you can't control that and you have to, like a Sunday has to meet there. But
and we only work exclusively with listings. So we don't really take buyers around. Like our focus, I mean, we have team members in our group that take our buyers. So it's not that we don't take buyers, but we have a specialist that focus on the buyers. So what our weekly schedule looks like is we arrive to the office. I drop off my daughter. He drops out the older kids. We are to the office 8:30, 8:45, and then we jump on the phone around 9 a.m. So from 9 to 11:30, like religiously every single day, we're making calls. We're in Vulcan7. We're making expires for sale by owners, circle prospecting, just lead generation. Because if we don't have that lead generation piece of it in our business, then our business is going to suffer in 2 months. So we know 2 months from now, we're not going to have business. Everything we have under agreement right now is closing in June. So what is our July and August looking like? So if we're not prospecting every day, then it's not predictable, right? So that's how we're able to keep things moving, just really laser focusing on the lead generation in the morning. And then afternoon comes in, and then it's like appointments, follow-ups, emails, then all that stuff that is happening. We have an amazing team. We have an admin that takes care of a lot of our stuff, and a transaction coordinator that takes a lot off of our plate. So we're able just to do agent relationships. Like that's what in agents, just with our customers, our clients, and then our agents. And it keeps us very sleep.
So, all right. So, I mean, everybody has their systems, and I don't mean systems. I don't mean products. You know what I mean? I mean actual systems when it comes to expires and for sale by owners. I'm going to venture to guess you guys have this stuff really dialed in at this point, where you've got like, I'm going to do this at this time, this at this time, this at this time. Can you walk me through a little bit about what that looks like?
Well, I wake up no, just kidding. So like she said, I get in here before her because she drops off my daughter. So I hit the phones, fresh expireds, fresh for sale by owners. You text them if you can't get them on the phone. And then after that, you decide what you want to do. Older expireds, circle prospect, and whatever you decide to do. I do older expireds at that point after the fresh. And then I lead back into the for sale by owners. I call them again. Because those are like highly motivated, right? Ready to go. And then right from there, I go to my lead follow-up to see who's the freshest ones. Like usually on Monday or Tuesday, I call the older for sale by owners after they had their open house. I want to see if they get an offer Monday, Tuesday. And if not, then we book them as an appointment. And then 11:30, you want to jump in? 11:30,
So 11:30 comes in, and then we do role play. We have a group in California. People from all over the country jump in there, role play for 30 minutes. It's so predictable, honestly. Like, and then 12 o'clock on the dot, we eat lunch. It's like he gets up at 11:59, makes the lunch, and then from 12 to 12:30, we either jumping on a training while eating lunch, or we're eating lunch and following up with people. And then back at 1:30, we'll jump back and we do more calls for either those expires that didn't pick up in the morning or for sale by owners. So anything that is fresh in the list. And that, usually for another hour. And then back, 2:30 for me, it's like either confirming appointments, following up with sellers, buyers, and then I head out at 3:30.
She was saying that yesterday, isn't it awesome that we've been able to do what we're doing, sell all these homes, only listings, and not have to run around with buyers and grow this to 85 agents. All this that we're doing, we're expanding up into a different, another level over here at our office, all from here, the office.
From sitting in our desk.
It's very rare that we go out unless it's just, to hit appointments. And sometimes you can't control it. Sometimes we're even doing Zooms on listing appointments too now. But all from those chairs. That's it.
Right.
It's like, it's so crazy and so mind-blowing, because before I became a listing agent, I used to be like, let me go to this appraisal, let me go to this, let me go to this closing, like all these non-income producing activities. And when you have them under agreement, then it's, it's done, it's over. Like, you're not making more money than you already did. So it's like, how do you get out of those activities and really focus back into creating more leads, filling up your pipeline? So we've been able to have that like consistency that it has led us to just being so predictable in our business. Like, we have like 6-9 under agreement right now, and they're closing like in 4 weeks. So it's like, it's nice to be able to do that and still have a family time, have the perfect work and family balance, because that's ultimately our priority, our kids,
Yeah, of course.
Business is secondary to that. So.
And I mean, what I see here with the two of you is you have built-in accountability partners, and I mean, it's I know a lot of people that are married, but it's but it's like the way that you're finishing each other's sentences, and you're just bouncing in there and it's you guys have something special there, which is I would assume goes through your family and your personal
guy.
Yeah, there you go. See, but it's like it's just to have that accountability partner. Not everyone's going to have their spouse, okay, But to have that accountability partner is so important. That person that can get you up when you're down, right? The person that when they're down, you can get them up. And just seeing this right here, if people don't understand, you've got to find the people that make your life better, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have an awesome, we call it tribe. The 85 people that are here, they're our family.
Yeah.
So I always say to them, in real estate, in business, and in this this environment that we're in, we get to choose who we work with. So we're very careful on who comes in because that could affect everybody, and our relationship too, right? We don't hang out with everybody. We just can't. We don't want to, right? So we get to choose who comes into our life, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
And you know, and people might look at this and say, well, but my husband is not in real estate. My wife is not in real estate. Like, I don't have a partner. Like, they have it, you know, they have it easy because they figure it out. I would say to people like that, it's who you surround yourself with. I mean, like, we don't have a ton of friends. We're almost like homebodies. Like, we spend a lot of time with the kids. So it's almost like you might see us and it's like, oh, these guys are always out and about and having a bunch of friends. We don't, because we try to be very careful, like, who the important people are in our lives. Because what tends to happen, if somebody's like struggling in their business, or it's like mindset is negative, they tend to pour into you, and like it affects you, right? So one of the things is, like, we love going to the gym, right? And it has to be at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. that we go, because otherwise we can't. Time doesn't allow it, kids, everything, right? So it's funny because sometimes he'll get up and I'm like, I don't really want to go to the gym. But then I know he's going. So I'm like, that's the friendly competition comes in that sense. I'm like, if he's
she's
going,
super competitive.
I'm like, if he's going, I have to go. He's not gonna get all good for summer, and I'm not. So it's like, I'm like, I'm going. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna drag myself out of bed and do it. So I mean, find somebody like that, a friend or a business partner, another agent, like somebody who's going to keep you accountable. A coach also could help you keep accountable. So it doesn't have to be your spouse. It could just be somebody else in your life.
It doesn't matter. It's finding somebody or just a tribe of people that are there to help you, whoever that is, because you see, I mean, like I said, you see here, this is like the highest level of accountability that you can really attain. You know what I mean? Like, this is my opinion. Like, you two right here are the highest level of accountability you can attain, because this is the person you go to bed with and you wake up with and you see throughout the day, you know, all that type of stuff, you know, and, you know, it drives you crazy and you love them and all that type of fun stuff.
No,
So,
it's like when he goes to leaves the office, it's like 30 minutes later, he's like, hey, baby, what are you doing? Like, it's like so crazy because if we're not together for more than 2 hours, like, he's either calling me and I'm calling him like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, did you hear about this deal that just happened? Like, it's like you can't keep us away from each other for too long either. It's
you guys make me smile. You guys really make me smile. All right, so let me ask you this: you guys work with a lot of new agents, okay? And there's new agents, seasoned agents, that watch us here. So let's say someone's walking past your desk, a brand new agent office comes in and says, "Hey guys, what's one piece of advice that you could give me that would take my business to the next level?" What does that look like?
I think we could say it at the same time.
Right.
1, 2, 3. Time blocking.
Time blocking.
Time blocking.
That's one thing. Yeah. But it also is with the coaching too, right? Get a mentor, get a coach, get somebody that could help you with it, because time blocking is going to impact it right away. But then you need the skills, right? If you're trying to figure it out yourself, it's going to take you a lot longer. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. It's going to cost you a lot of money. But the coaching might cost you some money up front, but it's going to pay dividends, right, really quick.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, and with, I'm going to take their word because, like I said, they're bringing in new agents and all the time. And, time management and time blocking is so important because we only have so much time in the day. I mean, there's only so much time, and it's a question on what you use it with. So, all right, guys, we're finishing up here. This was amazing. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Okay. When I'm in Massachusetts, we're going to go out with my wife. My parents actually live in Massachusetts. Yeah, no, we're going to go. We're going to hang out. We're going to go to dinner. And what's your final last words for Vulcan7 Nation here?
So balance. I'm reading a book right now. We read it. She read it before me, and I'm reading it now. It's called Die with Zero. It's something you guys probably are reading it now or read it before, but there's got to be a balance. Right. This industry will chew you up and spit you out. Put in the work, obviously, right? The consistency, but at the same time, have balance, because this could cause, your relationships to this industry could cause relationships to suffer, and you only have that one life in this world. So your kids are important. Time block even your family and all that stuff, and your personal stuff, right? Find some time for yourself. We go to the gym, and that's our personal time individually. But that's what I would leave you with.
Yeah, I agree. I think prioritizing, like having your whys, is important. Like we do every year, like beginning of the year, we do like what our business is going to look like. So those goals, but also our family and our personal, and everything goes in there, because you could get lost in like, okay, I'm just going to just do prospecting. And it could burn you out. But if you have a nice balance in your life and your mindset and yourself, like taking care of your body, your mind, your family, and then implementing the business, then, it's like you marry the process, divorce the outcome, and then things will start going into place. So
marry the process and divorce the outcome.
Yes.
I love that. We're gonna leave on that right there, just because I think that's an amazing saying right there. All right, so I know you guys are in a bunch of markets right now. So can you just share which markets you guys are in, just in case we get some referrals for you?
Of course. So our office is in Linfield, Massachusetts, but we do all the greater Boston area.
Okay.
So anything you could do. Massachusetts is a small state, so anything in Massachusetts we have our hands on. So Massachusetts. We also have agents in Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Maine. Our main focus is Massachusetts.
Got it. And let's say, for example, someone comes through Boston proper and they have a referral for you. What is the best way to get in contact with you guys?
So they could either give us a call, 617-842-2088, or we have a joint email. It's williamandvero@gmail.com.
The word and, A-N-D.
A-N-D.
William and Vero.
Got it. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming out and hanging out with us today. This was amazing. Vulcan7 Nation, listen to what they're telling you. Listen to what they're telling you here. All right? You got some great advice today, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Roadmaps. Everybody, take care of yourselves and go make some money. Take care.